Hi, this is Janto, aka Frags with the DNB Academy, and welcome to another sound recreation video. For this one, I decided to bring the sort of bass that Simula uses on tracks like Cold Shoulder. So let me show you the example we've got going on here, and I'll let you know which bass stab is the one we're gonna be recreating.
Wait. Mud. Whoa.
So yeah, there we go. I think you could figure that out by the MIDI that we got going on here, which I'm gonna consolidate into a new one. So it's pretty much this really weird, darky, really dark sounds that that Simula has got us used to, which I love. It's honestly my favorite jump up producer at the moment. So that's exactly what you gotta be doing. All right. So let's get an instance of Serum open and start designing our patch. All right. So this is just a weird sound. It's actually made up. It's built upon some different fundamentals that we are probably used to. So it resolves a lot around the processing and delay and all those techniques. So let's just try to get and figure out the sound and get it in like two stages. So we got the lowest part of our sound, which is actually the bass that we need to take care of. And then there's like the sort of texture that plays on top of it that creates that really sort of growly, but yet like full of texture sound. So let's go with it. First things first, let's choose basic shapes here and choose our sine wave. All right. Let's get one octave higher. All right. So it should be something like this for now. This is what we got, all right? So now let's turn oscillator B, which should be a wavetable that adds like loads of dirty harmonics playing on top, right, guys? So that's what we need to think about. So these spectral ones are usually good wavetables for these sort of sounds, all right? So let's go with a RCMS, for instance. Get like 2 octaves lower. So we're starting to get that vibe going on there, all right? So after doing so, we're gonna be pretty much just giving 3 voices here. So it just widens up the sound quite a bit. Then we need to turn on the filter. And also we need something that is actually not such a common and used filters that we see in most of the sounds. So let's go with these phaser ones, like for instance, this 48 plus. Assign both sounds there. All right, cool. And now we need to sort of shape up this sine wave to achieve sort of more of a clicky pitch bend down sort of sound going on here. So let's choose LFO1 as an envelope here, and we probably just gonna do like something really fast here and assign this to the chorus. Let's make this polar and go somewhere around like 20, 24. Should be cool. Let's hear. So now we have that click. Just increase the master a little bit. We do have that click on our basic sine wave we got going on here, right? You can even, if you want, you could even be more extreme. So let's make this like 64. So we just hear that really cool click going on there. All right, and to make sure we do have like a solid low end going, we're just gonna assign, this sine wave and gonna send it straight out. So it creates this really cool rumble on the low end. All right, and in terms of like what's going on here in the synth, this is pretty much it. Now it's just a matter of you to, for instance, with the wavetable position, finding the sweet spot. Like for instance, I know here it gives us like pretty cool harmonics. Here. So I would say somewhere around the 100-ish on the wavetable, we can achieve this really cool sound. Now moving forward into our effects, this is where things start to get interesting, all right? Because this sound is pretty simple within the synth itself. Now it's just all about the processing within Serum and outside of Serum as well. So let's go and turn on hyperdimension. Let's get the unison all the way down. And let's get the mix and the size somewhere around like 20%. Something like this. So we get this wider sort of sound going on here, which helps, all right? And after that, let me just, I forgot to just tweak the filter a little bit. Because with this filter, we want to like notch down that sort of like peachy sine wave we got going on there. We just want to be left with a click. So we need to make sure that is sitting right there. Or we can just tame that one down a bit if you want. We can just like tune in to sound less pitched up. The main goal will be, yeah, somewhere around here. This is where we get those similar vibes going. So let's get back into our processing. So we should leave the dimension there, turn off the hyper, and now let's turn on our distortion. This is where we're gonna start to bring those sounds up. Just a little bit more. Yeah, we can go this way. Yeah, it's pretty fine to me. Now, chorus. Once again, really subtle. We can actually increase the LF low pass filter there and give the chorus like 40%. And then just feed it a bit more than usual. So you get these super cool wide range of harmonics going on there. And then let's move on to the delay. And this is where these similar sounds start to get into place, all right? So first things first, we sort of want to link both sides here. We don't want to leave these random, all right, and different from each other. Let's filter this out and choose the ping pong algorithm here on our reverb. And then let's just turn off the BPM. So this way we can actually just, you know, go crazy with the time here and choose those specific spots we wanna have our delays at. So let's hear it. Like if we do this, like it's super, you know, it takes a lot. So we want this to actually be like almost like playing on top of the original sound. Let's filter this differently and increase the delay. Here we can put this like over 500, the delay offset. Just a matter of like finding the right spot. It's a good exercise as well to practice these little things. Increase the feedback, but I would say something like this would work. All right, I think we're good like this. Created a pretty interesting texture already. So yeah, let's run with this, guys, okay? To sort of finalize what we got going on here within our patch, when within Serum, we're just gonna boost some of the frequencies with our EQ and balance things out with the compressor, all right? So let's put the EQ above compressor, so it's gonna play first, and let's boost like these fundamental harmonics that this specific sound needs to come out, which is like usually would be somewhere around these 900, 800. There we go. You can also apply this envelope to the gain. So this way we can actually make things a bit more dynamic. Cool. And now the compressor will just like pretty much, if we turn the multiband on, we're just gonna balance all the spectrum ranges we got going on here. The mids and the tops. Let's just turn down the feedback a little bit. Or we can actually put the delay after the compressor. All right, let's just be a bit milder with the compressor. That I would leave the release on like 242 milliseconds, for instance. Alright. I would say like 130%, 1/7-ish, depending on your taste, would be it for our sound. Now let's just add a little bit of room. Let's low cut this, make it small, with not much of a decay. We just want this little room got going on here. Okay. And we're done within Serum. Let's start bringing up some more processing tools to help us get the most out of these little textures that we just created. So first things first, let's never neglect and let's never put reverbs, EQs aside, because they are so important for these sort of sounds. As you can see, we do have our fundamental sort of sounds here. So these are the parts we want to stand out. This is what Simula's sounds are usually all about. It's like these really core fundamental harmonics on these high mids. Let us just decrease a bit of the volume because it's getting too loud here. We need to control things. Right, cool. And also, we could just, for the sake of the layer, we could remove that low end oscillator that we added, the sub oscillator, just to have more of this part instead of the actual sub, which can be done on a different layer. But for now, let's leave it here. You can actually boost it or even get a lower octave to get a bit more sub bassy if you want. That could work, right? So let's just also boost a bit of these tops. And we're good to go in terms of EQing, all right? So first step after this one would be adding a decapitator, really cool distortion unit from Soundtoys. Just once again, that's the main goal of this patch. Just like we don't really want to overdrive the lows that much, but we want to bring those mids, those crispy mids up into the mix. So let's just increase the drive slowly. Let's low cut so we don't get like weird distortions below the 20, 30-ish hertz. And now it's all about the tone of the part of the sound that we actually want to distort. So let's go with the tone, like a brighter tone for this one. Not so bright because we're gonna get loads of tops, but like somewhere around here. And then let's actually increase our output a little bit. And on a high cut, it doesn't really matter because if we start to cut like just a tiny bit, it starts to sound bad. All right. And now, to wrap up the sound, what we need to do is a bit more of EQing. It's always super important to, after applying these sort of more extreme plugins, such as distortion, saturation, and weird effects plugins on top of your sounds, we need to sort of like correct all the harshness and all the mistakes and weird things that it might have ended up adding to our original sound. So for instance, we know that like we don't want any information here. It's actually beneficial that we don't have anything here. And now we can just still boost a bit more of these, and then, for instance, take off a little bit of this one, so we can make this part of the sound stand out a bit better. Just a matter of EQing to get it to sound right, all right? And now, just to wrap up the overall thing, there's just one thing that we can do. Just apply an OTT. We could use Ableton's, you can use whatever one that you're used to, but I really like this one, just to, you know, get the dynamics within the range, so we can get things sounding more cohesive, right? So let's boost these mids a bit more again. Also the lows. We actually want to tame down the tops a bit on the input and on the output. So yeah, there we go. This is our bass sound similar to the ones we can hear on tunes like Cold Shoulder from Simula. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace!